was in this moment that I knew today's update was going to be a fun one. If you're new here, I've spent the last week or so working on this custom 3D printed alien lava lamp. In last week's saga, I had added some water caviar to the inside of this lamp to give it some extra dimension. And for once, the internet almost unanimously agreed that the Orbeez look cool inside, and overall gives it the effect of looking like it's some sort of cryogenic chamber, which by the way is a word that makes me feel like I should have had speech therapy as a kid. But we still have a few housekeeping items on this lamp. Not thinking much of it, I innocently screwed the top of this lid off, and all in the sudden, we had a situation. Not entirely sure what that sound I made was or why my reflexes were as slow as a member of Congress, but they just kept expanding and pouring out of the top. And all in all, it took me about 15 minutes to round these up from every corner of my office. Once that was relatively under control, it was time for the claw to come out. I'm sure there was an easier way to get him out of here, but this was definitely the way that sparked the most joy. And if you were here last time, then you may know that he came down with a nasty case of the space pox, aka his paint seems to be bubbling up from the water. Now, I did not make him myself, I just adopted him from the internet. So I'm not entirely sure what the finishing process was on him, but I decided to add a layer of clear coat to see if this helped prevent more paint from bubbling up. From there, we got him back safe and sound in his cozy chamber, and I positioned him just a little bit higher up this time. And finally, I decided to go for a suggestion that came up quite a few times, which was adding some green dye to the water. First, it was just sitting on the top, but then slowly it started trickling its way down, which looks super cool. And after sticking the lid back on, I just kind of let it sit and hang out for a couple hours. And it seems like the dye is kind of just staying up towards the top. So, do we think we should mix it up? Should we leave it as is? And what other changes should we make to this lamp?